G'day viewers, and welcome to this week's Racing Base preview. Day one of the championships at Royal Randwick kicking off this week. Plenty of Group 1 action, some great racing coming our way. So to try and find a winner, I've got Rick Chapman helping me as usual. Rick, welcome mate, how are you?
I'm very good, looking forward to going out to Randwick on Saturday to see the champs, particularly Winks.
Yep, should be a good day. Plenty of good horses running, Rick, and maybe a few upset results.
I believe so. In the size produce, there'll certainly be an upset result. But yeah, it's going to be a good day, and I think it'll be a good mix of good prices and short prices.
Okay, speaking of the sires, Rick, that's the first of the Group 1s coming up. Let's kick off with that one. And what's the big price winner you've found for us?
Well, I like Timbora. I thought his run last start in one of the lead-up races was outstanding. He got checked at a vital stage. He took forever to wind up, but when he did, he made up huge ground on Suchet, who wouldn't be able to place in this race. History supports the fact that if you run in the Golden Slipper, there tends to be tired legs going into this size produce. We look at English last year. She looked like a great chance in the size last year and didn't get hot. I think the same thing will happen to Yankee Rose. I know there's a few blokes who strongly disagree with that theory, but I'm going to have a bit on Timbora. I think he's currently $36 each way, and I'll be putting him in box trifectas and exactas and all those sorts of things with Telperion and various others. But I think it'll be a good race, but there'll be a lot of horses coming hard at the finish, and Timbora might just bob at big price.
Yeah, well, I like that theory as well, Rick, that you pointed out, that with tired legs coming into this race. And traditionally, the Slipper is the race to follow going into this one, Rick. I think in the last 30 years, 20 winners have come out of the Slipper. The next best lead-up race is the Magic Night Stakes, with 4 winners coming into this race in the past 30 years. And the runner-up in the Magic Night this year to Calliope was Chris Waller-trained Ome Sword. I really like this horse, being a high shap. Run over 1,200 was brilliant. You can only expect it to improve over 1,400 metres. This one had the flashing light on getting home last time, and I liked it in the English size.
Well, as I said, they'll be coming hard at the finish. I think there's going to be plenty of pace early. I had Ome Sword mapping to run second, so good to see you like her. But I just think Timbora will get to the line quicker. But be another wonderful race. And I just hope we're amongst the collects.
Yeah, sure. And interestingly, with the Magic Night, I remember watching the coverage of that, and the commentators were saying, well, I don't think we've seen the Slipper winner there with Calliope, and saying the run didn't look that impressive. But interestingly, they ran good time. They ran 109.78, which was much quicker than the Slipper was run. Obviously, the track was slightly different condition, but still, I like the time they ran there. And well, there's 2 to consider, Ome Sword, and you're with Timbora.
Yeah, I know you love times. I've put no bearing on times whatsoever, and it's just different ways to approach racing, I guess, and they're just as effective as each other. But because Good Standing, for example, ran 109.09, and when he won his Group 2 race and couldn't get hot in the Slipper, and I don't think he'll get hot in the size either. But anyway, we'll see, as we always do. But the last 600 is going to be crucial in this race. Where they are coming to the bend, and if they get clear air. We've had plenty of sunshine yesterday, today, and again tomorrow for sure and certain. Friday and Saturday looks like being a nice warm day, particularly warm day actually. So I think this track's going to play well, and they're going to run time.
Yeah, I think so too, Rick. All right, let's go on to the next one, Rick. Australian Derby, the Stayers race for the 3-year-olds. What have you got there for us?
I think it's a lot more cut and dry than the size produce, where there's about 12 chances. I think there's only 2 in the Derby. Tarzino is an outstanding racehorse. He proved that last start. And Vanbra's peaking perfectly. Huey Bowman in these long races is almost unbeatable. We saw that on that clever and brilliant winning ride on Preferment last week. I don't think Vanbra's as good as Tarzino, but I do think Huey Bowman brings 2 lengths better to the table than Newitt. Saying that, Tarzino is just an out-and-out stay. He just seems to roll along, gets better and better, and as the races get on. So I'll be on the favourite. If I can get $2 or $2.05, I'll be having a very good wager, but I'll also be having a big exacta with Amber to run second.
Yeah, well, when you said there's two chances, Rick, I knew one of them was going to be Tarzino, and I thought you might have been onto mine as the other chance. I'm going with the Godolphin runner Tally. Geez, if you saw his last win at Moonee Valley, you had to be impressed. You've got that form with Palantino and Tarzino going to the line locked in the Guineas at Flemington. The way this horse just let down and put pay to Palantino was phenomenal. He just, when you looked at every horse, was hard at work on the turn at the Valley. And Craig Williams must have been shocked coming up, just going, I'm just absolutely cantering on this thing. He pushed the button in the last 150 metres and he just bounded away from him so impressively. I can't wait to see what this horse does over 2,400. And I think he's a real danger to Tarzino.
Well, yeah, we might be right. I think historically, and this is going to come across worse than it actually sounds in my head, but historically, Godolphin horses, once they get past about 2,200 metres in Australia, don't fire at all. So he's got that against him. Plus, you know, Tarzino might be a freak. He just might be a freak. So another great race coming up, but I'll be on him at $2.05 or better for a big go.
They actually competed against each other last campaign during the spring as well in the Vars at Moonee Valley, Rick. And Tarzino was way back. They sort of sat right at the tail together. And James Doyle rode Tally on that occasion when he was out from the UK. And he made a couple of poor choices. He was caught wide with no cover, firstly. Snagged the horse back and he over-raced. And then when Tarzino started swooping around, Doyle opted to go for an inside run, got blocked, had to change course. And I think the run was, it was up there with Tarzino. It's not quite as good, but, he's got 4 out of 4 this campaign. I think if there's a danger to Tarzino, this is the horse. So Tarzino for you, Bamber is a danger, and I'm with Tally.
Yeah, there you go. Great race coming up. Actually, I think it's a very good derby this year.
Yeah, I do too. And, the derby has had a habit of throwing up some rough results. So as most of these races on Saturday. So, there's some value there to be had. Next one, Rick, we got the sprint, TJ Smith, which is, fast becoming the premier sprint in Australia. The Newmarket used to hold that quite easily, but with that big prize money on offer, the TJ is the one everyone wants. So what have you picked out there for us?
I know it's certainly what Gay wants. She'd love to win the race named after her dad. And at $2.5 million, why wouldn't you? But I think this is the defining race for Exosphere. He goes to stud later this year. If he gets this win under his belt, he'll go to stud probably at about 55,000 per serve. With his pedigree and his beast-like frame, which is phenomenal, he'll be a sensation at stud. Win, lose, or draw, I think he'll be quite successful at stud because he's got that X factor. But Sydney, as we know, going the clockwise way can make a big difference to horses, and it'll make a big difference to this horse. If he's got clear running in the straight, he maps perfectly to get a great run. My only concern is him getting out. If he gets out in time, he will blouse this field. Chautauqua will finish brilliantly to run second. I think Dothraki will be up on the pace, and he's an underrated sprinter. He'll be right there punching away for the minors as well. But Exosphere stands up, silences his critics this week, and becomes one of the most valuable stallions in the Southern Hemisphere once he wins. Big call, isn't it?
A fantastic action for a sprinter, this horse. When you hear some pundits say, poultry in motion. Geez, this horse has just got a great action, and I really like watching him run.
Exosphere?
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, my son is just, my 16-year-old son has just got into to racing now, and he asked me the question. He loves Winx. He's backed Winx 8 starts in a row, thinks she's invincible. And he said, what do you think of Exosphere, Dad? I said, well, on his day, he could probably beat Winx. He's so good. But just finding his day. Let's hope that the stars align this Saturday, because if they do, we're going to see something really spectacular.
Yeah, interesting to hear O'Shea say he's going to have him more forward this weekend as well, Rick. He's going to race better than midfield. He said you'll see him not far off the pace. So if that's the case from Barry 4, be interesting to see if he's still got the same sprint at the end of it. But I'm with you in this one, Rick, and I don't think I've ever tipped Exosphere before, but he maps perfectly for this, and especially knowing that he's going to be sitting a bit closer to the speed this time. If he brings that Roman Consul form, he just wins, because the time he ran in that was phenomenal. That was good enough to win any TJ Smith Stakes in history. He just needs to bring that form and he wins.
Well, before even hearing John O'Shea say that, I mapped him running in the second pair on the fence. And as I said at the start of this, all he needs to do is just shoulder his way out. Being such a big, gross animal, he will do that. And once he sees daylight, I just hope that, for the sake of the punting, that he's out in time, because Chortak will get some clean air out wide and he will start his run, possibly even sooner than Exosphere. But if J Mac can get this big fella out, it's exciting times ahead. And I think they'll fight it out.
I can't wait to see this one. I think this is going to be his race, Rick. Exosphere, just, you look at the way they've timed this run as well. And that run at Flemington, he was only 1.5 lengths off of him in the inferior part of the track. It was a brilliant run. So getting back to his favourite track where he brained him last time there, he looks pretty good. So Exosphere for both of us in that one.
Yeah, if Winks wasn't in the Doncaster, this would be the race of the carnival, I think.
Yeah, I think he's probably the bet of the day for me, Exosphere, and I'll have the biggest go at him. So, all right, that's that one done. Let's get on to the $3 million race, the big one of the day, the Star Doncaster Mile. Can anyone beat Winks?
No.
Simple as that. Nope.
She wins and wins in a hand canter. Happy Clap will run second, and possibly Kermadec will get home, or he or she will run the placings. But it's like she did. To me, it'll be just like she did in the Cox Plate. This is a grand final, and she will just explode and win. Here we'll be looking at the crowd 50 metres from home, standing up in the irons, a la Kathy O'Hara last week, just doing his little as he crosses the line, and she'll be 3 lengths clear. End of story.
Yeah, speaking of Kathy on single gaze, Rick, that was a good one for us. We tipped the quaddie for followers last week, paid 5,700 on the U-bet, so not a bad result.
Yeah, I got 3 of those legs, and I had to all on solicit in the other leg, so she ran very disappointing, couldn't lead, so therefore she was gone. But good that we combined and got it. I wasn't on it, sadly, but I hope someone was.
Yeah, I think Adam and I both had Zambar in our tips for that one, Rick, and I noticed you stood solicit out. But and that is the power of, I think, combining them for the quaddies sometimes, is you've got 3 different opinions, 3 different ways of looking at the form, and we've had a few big ones, so hopefully another one this weekend.
Yeah.
So Rick, with the Doncaster, I'm on the exact same page as you. I think Winks just wins. I've got Kermadec running second from Happy Clapper, so we've got the same trifecta there as well, Rick. Kermadec is the danger, if there is a danger to Winks. If she has any trouble, he's certainly the danger. And Happy Clapper, his last run was huge, and he's going to peak now too. He did last time, third up from a spell. I think he ran at a benchmark 70 from memory, then jumped up to the Villiers and won that when dropping in weight. And he gets a big drop in weight on Saturday, and his run wasn't too bad at all. He did it tougher than any other horse in the that last start behind Winks, and he can improve out of sight. So one for the place betters.
Yeah, I've got him running second. I think if you reverse the barriers last start, him and Kermadec, they both had the same weight. Reverse the barriers in the run, he beats Kermadec home, and he meets him 7 or 8 kilos better this time, and is peaking. So that's why I've got him second. But a healthy respect for Kermadec too. But they're in another race behind this
yeah, they were sort of level with each other too, Rick. And then when he came wide and Kermadec went on the inside, he gained 3 lengths within just a few strides. So that inside definitely helped him. But it was good to see over that 1,500-metre trip, Happy Clapper was taking ground off of them at the end as well. So you'd think 1,600 will suit. As we said, he's peaking, and he's a good one at value. I think he was $3.20 or $40 when I tipped him for the place. So that'll do me. Yeah,
in hindsight, it probably is a better bet, isn't it? Having place bet on Happy Clapper instead, but you need the multis, need Winks to win for the multis. Plus, we need Winks to win for the industry. Sure.
Well, there's our 4 Group 1s covered. Have you got a special, anything that stands out on the day, Rick? You've got 10 races on the card, so...
Oh, no, I can't wait to get there. I hope I don't weaken and bet on every race. once I get to the lead, I like to stop, but I tend to weaken if I'm at the races. I was at Maruya last week with the top prize money was 8,000. Randwick this week with the top prize money is 2.5 million. So,
how'd you go with your horse?
And she was badly ridden and she finished 5th. But anyway, we live to win another day. But I'm not the only one who'll be at Maruya last week and Randwick this week. Kayla Nisbet, who incidentally rode my horse, is riding in the country championship, and she rode at Maruya last week. So it's a massive. And speaking of the country championships, to answer your original question, that's where my best bet lies. All day, I will be betting Clearly Innocent, and then I'll be betting it again. And then if they continue to give me $2.40, I'll back it a third time.
Yeah, actually, I have to take my best back as well, Rick, because Clearly Innocent, geez, wasn't he good last time? He carried that massive weight and just canted up to him and just strolled on like it was, that was the easiest trial you've ever seen. And it was a race. He just brained him. So he brings that ball and he wins.
He's a potential group horse, and $2.40 him versus $2.70 Exosphere, or $2 for Winks. Well, Winks at $2 is a great bet, but $2.40 Clearly Innocent. We can win a lot of money this Saturday if things go right. And for me personally, I'm coming 3rd overall in Star Stable, and I really need Winks to win and be my captain. I need Tarzino to win, and I think a couple of others. Or if Chimbora wins the sires, I think I'm home.
3rd overall.
3rd overall, winning the Betting Pro one, but 3rd overall. And I made the stupid mistake of telling my wife, "Oh, I'm a chance to win 10,000, babes." Yeah, that turned into about 1,000 because she's going to claim the other 9.
Well, just keep focused, Rick. And I remember telling you before, I was leading that Star Stable a couple of years ago, and that bloody Ethiopia knocked me out in the Derby. The thing has not won a race since, and I have a real dislike for that horse, Ethiopia.
Yeah, I remember you telling me that story, and I think about it when I look at where I'm placed, 3rd with 3 meetings to go. And
stay focused and keep going, mate.
Yeah. I'm poised.
Just one other quick one, Rick. I actually like one at massive odds. I think this thing is way, way over the odds on Saturday. We've got the PJ Bell Stakes. Gerald Ryan saddles up one of the top chances, Perignon. He's got a rank outsider in the field. Don't Doubt Marley at 50 to 1. This horse will improve out of sight, second up. Its first up run was actually pretty good. Have something small on it each way at $51, guys. I really like this one.
Oh, well, there you go. People love those sort of tips. It's a tough race. These fillies races are always tough. I think there's a special in it, Lady Sniper. But, there's many chances.
Yeah, this horse has got good form behind Petite Falou. You've got Jalan, Miss Gunpowder, Stay With Me, Pasadena Girl. It's finished a couple of lengths behind these last campaign. And as I said, first up, last prep, it won its maiden quite impressively. Second up on a heavy track, improved in a much tougher race. So I think there's good room for improvement there, second up. And at 51, drops from 60.5 kilos to 54. And I love it when these fillies just drop in weight like that. Especially for a 3-year-old filly to drop such a, 60.5 down to 54. It's 51's overs, and I think it's worth a crack at. So don't doubt Marley in the PJ Bell.
Yeah, I'll be against you there because I think Lady Sniper might be something very special. Do we see the Sydney Cup winner tomorrow on Saturday too, Libran?
Yeah, I've tipped him his last couple of runs, Rick, but I'm off of him tomorrow. I don't like the weight that he's got. So I'm going with Gaze. I'm going with Cafe Society in that race.
Oh, it'll set a solid pace.
Yeah, well, 2.5 kilos weight turnaround from last time, Rick, and Libran obviously had the fitness edge. So I think that was a market improvement from Cafe Society last time. And I think if he can go on with the job now, just that weight turnaround over 2,600 metres, that makes a difference over that long trip. So I still like Libran for the Sydney Cup. Loved him last week and the week before, just not this week.
Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough. Yeah. Well, we'll see. All questions will be answered very shortly.
That's it, mate. All right, that's it for this week. Enjoy, what's one of the best days of racing on the calendar, folks, and hopefully you can all back a winner.
Oh, absolutely, and just enjoy the equine athletics, because these are the best horses in the land, and it's just a great meeting.
Yeah, well, if I remember correctly, Rick, I reckon you've tipped 5 of the last 6 Group 1 winners. So Flamberge last week at $15. So you hit a bit of a purple patch, mate. So follow these tips, guys, and get into some cash.
Yeah, we backed up with preferment last week too.
Yeah, that's right, mate. It's good when they go like that. So, all right, good luck on Saturday, Rick, and good luck to everyone watching.
Yeah, good on you, everybody. All the best.